Hello and welcome to this week's Geography at the Garibaldi School and your continuing work as we look at the economic change in the UK. So last week we looked at the process of deindustrialisation, and you should now understand what deindustrialisation is, i.e. the decline of traditional industries, mainly in the primary and secondary sector. So the closing of manufacturing and the decrease in agriculture. And you can see that in the graph in the bottom right corner. We can see how around about the 1960s manufacturing sort of declined, and we should hopefully understand the reasons for this linked to globalisation, the cheaper production methods maybe in these, or cheaper labour costs, or a growing market that TNCs might want to go and invest in. The question that then remains is, if these industries are declining, and if we know that primary and secondary jobs are being lost, what are they being replaced with? And the key objective for today is what type of industries are growing in the UK, a post-industrial economy. Now, in your workbooklet you'll see that you've got a learning map for this particular week's work. So in the learning map you might want to put some text boxes to fill your answers in. But the first thing to think about is, what does that mean, a post-industrial economy? Well, if we break it down word by word, we know what the economy is. We know that's about jobs and money. Industrial, well, we know that's about factories and making things, so that will almost be like the secondary sector. Post means after. So a post-industrial economy means after manufacturing economy. So basically, what jobs are there now we've deindustrialised? So these images might help us think about that. If you look at those jobs, what you don't see is manufacturing, farming, mining, quarrying. You don't see making products. You don't see factory lines. You don't see any of those kind of jobs. What we see is jobs working at computers, medical jobs, medical research, or doctors or nurses, pilots, mechanics. We see that move away from the old way of working to the new way of working. Look, the fact that we've got more mobile technology. All these jobs have something in common, and they are all part of the post-industrial economy. So whereas we used to have factories, we now have computers which help us provide a service. So a post-industrial economy is the shift of some major industrial economies in the late 20th century away from producing goods and towards producing services. On your learning map there is a space for you to put a definition of the post-industrial economy. You can just write this one down. However, I'd like you to show your understanding by really thinking, what did he mean? What is he talking about? Post, after, industrial, the manufacturing side, economy. What's the economy of the UK? So have a think about what that term means. And it's a really important one. Highlight it. Do whatever you do to make things stand out that you understand the post-industrial economy. Task 3, and I'm going to ask you to pause the video and do this, is to now think about as many jobs as you can that are in the post-industrial economy. So jobs that are after manufacturing, after deindustrialisation. So you can't have mining, you can't have quarrying, you can't have making cars, you can't have all those jobs that traditionally probably your grandparents or even your parents might have once worked in. What jobs do we all now do? Make a list as many as you can. And once you have, decide which sector are they in. Remember, primary is extraction of raw materials. Secondary is manufacturing or making things. Tertiary is where you're providing a service to somebody else. Quaternary jobs are things like scientific and medical research, high-tech kind of jobs. Pause the video, spend as long as you need on doing that task, and then come back to me. Welcome back. Some of you might have been asking people or thinking about your family in these jobs, and that's fine. What you should have found, and what you hopefully have found, is the vast majority of the jobs that you've noted down provide a service. they are in the tertiary sector. You might know some people that do work in quaternary sectors, but possibly not. And that's not a problem. But the point is, we've moved past the secondary stage, and we're now in the tertiary stage. In the future, though, there will be more quaternary sector jobs, and these are highlighted by our next case study. We're going to look at Cambridge Science Park. Cambridge Science Park is an area where the quaternary sector is growing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to very quickly play you this brief video. It's a promotional video for the Science Park, but it will give you a sense and a flavour of what the Science Park is like, the type of jobs that are there, the reason it's located where it is, links it might have. So as ever, put your pens down, just watch and really think about what this Science Park is like and how it's part of this post-industrial economy. Okay, so there's our video for the Cambridge Science Park. There's some more information on this slide, and it's about the University of Southampton Science Park primarily, but the same sort of things really do apply. So in terms of that science park at Cambridge, what we found was that the jobs you should have seen were like a lot of research-based jobs, a lot of new technological jobs. Those sort of jobs require a highly skilled workforce, and you'll notice that the Cambridge Science Park is linked with Cambridge University. What we know about Cambridge University is it's one of the most prestigious universities in the world. Therefore, a highly skilled and highly educated workforce in that area. If you are highly skilled and highly educated and you've got the potential to earn lots of money, you probably want to work in a really nice, pleasant surroundings, and that was also shown in that video. At this science park for the University of Southampton, it gives you some of the types of companies that are located there, and it talks about fibre core, so manufacturing optical fibres, key for sort of broadband, gamma ray spectacles that's now being developed with the Department of Physics and Astronomy at the university, lighting products, which also is linked to the university, and all these ideas that can interlink together. So a science park is a collection of high-tech, scientific, knowledge-based businesses that share ideas, share knowledge, share research facilities, and are all very, very, very much part of this quaternary sector of the economy. In terms of why Cambridge might be a good location, well, it's pretty easy to look at this and think why. For example, what we know about Cambridge is that it's not too far from London, the capital city. This is a big draw for young, highly skilled, highly educated young people. It's also a good place to be connected to other big businesses that are found in London. It's got good transport links. You'll see it's straight onto the M11, which takes you straight into London. It's got airports. It's got Stansted Airport not too far away. And in London there's obviously Heathrow and Gatwick as well. Not being in London though, it can be located a little bit further out and it can offer you a more green and pleasant environment to live in. So there's a number of reasons why Cambridge Science Park is located where it is. Before we get on to these exam questions, which follow, I want you to go back to your learning map. I want you to think about trying to answer as many questions as you can and in as much detail as you can. This slide might be useful. Again, it's not about Cambridge, but the same ideas apply. Think about the video, pause this now, come back to me when you've finished it. And welcome back. Hopefully then you've finished all of that work and you're now ready just to have a quick little bit of assessment of your learning. We're going to do it through a couple of exam-based questions. The first one is going to be tricky to do on the computer, but you might be able to print this off or have a go with it with a ruler on your screen. So using figure 6, measure the direct distance between Cambridge Science Park and junction 14 of the M11. So be accurate, use the scale. It's pretty straightforward. Then using figure 6, explain the advantages of this location for the Cambridge Science Park. We've talked about this. You should be pretty well understood about why this is a good location. This question is only worth 2 marks, but it really is the fundamental piece of learning today. 2 reasons why there have been a growth in the number of science parks in the UK. It's 2 marks, so no great explanation, but 2 accurate and relevant points are needed. I'll come back to these questions at the start of next week's learning video. So until then, keep working hard, keep taking care. Bye bye.